So before you get these Greek letters across your chest, there are two types of letters that you need to know about before that.
I don't love just anyone. I am not just anyone. I rock heels, I rock Jordans, and I wear wigs and rock my natural. Can you believe he says I'm pretty for a dark skin? He was dark skin. I bought some Hennessy for these niggas. Wonder if they love their mothers. I love their skin colors.
Hey Smoochies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Semyia, and you should go ahead and subscribe to my channel right now to join my Smoochie family. Today's video is going to be another sorority information type of video, and this one was requested from one of my Smoochies. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and it's informative to you. If you do enjoy this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Comment below any questions that you may have regarding this video and others like it. Also, anything that you request that you guys want to see, definitely leave those in the comment box below. So before you get these Greek letters across your chest, there are two types of letters that you need to know about before that. This is part of the process of joining these organizations, a sorority or fraternity. So this video is going to be about those two types of letters, which are the interest letter and the recommendation letters. So we're also going to talk a little bit about official transcripts as well. But before we get started, I want to say that with these, you should have all of these things that I'm about to list in this video before the informational if you're really interested in the organization. A lot of times at the informational, they'll give you a due date that kind of seems impossible if you need to go around and get these items. But if you're prepared and you knew this is what you want to do and you were looking and waiting, for the moment, then you'll already have these things ready for you. And I'll go into more detail about that as well as we get further along into each section of the video. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the sorority interest letters. So for your sorority interest letter, this is your chance to express why you're interested in the organization. It's your chance to express if there's someone who mentored you, impacted your life in a positive way, that inspired you, and that really stuck with you because they're a member, so it just made you look up to them and also be interested in the organization. It's your chance to speak about the fact that after doing your research you became interested, etc. This is your chance to talk about what made you want to join this respective organization. So this is where you can be yourself, and this is, to me, the most fun part. I enjoyed this part the most because I had a lot of time to think about it and research what I wanted to join. So when it came to writing my interest letter, I actually wrote too much and I had to kind of like downsize the paper a little bit. So if you're really truly interested in the organization, you should have a lot to say about it. So with that being said, depending on the organization and what their requirements are, they will tell you the length of the paper you need to write. It's usually 1 or 2 pages. And so you want to make sure that you take notes when you go to the information. It's really important so you can know how long your interest letter needs to be. Because you don't want to be short and you don't want to be over. If they say 1 page, it needs to be 1 page. If they say 2 pages, it needs to be 2 pages. Capiche? Great. So yeah, this is also a time for you to express what you can bring to the organization. It's not just about why you want to join. You also have to make yourself appealing and tell them that you have something to offer to their organization. It doesn't necessarily have to be different from what other people are offering, but just the fact that you thought about what you can bring to the table, what you can offer. So for example, if you held like a leadership role in the past in another organization, let's say that you were really big in community service and you think you would be great as a head of a community, like a community service chair or part of community service committee, you can include that. Just talk about basically what you have to offer, what you can contribute to the organization, because the organization is not all about what it can do for you, which is, that's important too. You also want to know what, positive things that the organization can do for you. Otherwise, why join if you're not both receiving anything? It's supposed to be give and take, but you should include what you can bring, what you have to offer to the organization. You can also do what I did, which is to like for formats for sorority interest letters, I looked on Google and I basically just looked up the format on how to write a sorority interest letter because I didn't know how to before. I knew what the content should include, but I needed to know the format, like the margin, the spacing, all that. And so you can Google that, and you can also Google examples of interest letters. And it doesn't have to be for sorority, but you can Google examples of interest letters for other organizations as well, just to get a feel for how it should kind of look and the vibe that you should go with. But still personalize it, don't plagiarize, make it your own and your own experience. And that's important because even if, you know, if it's 1 page long and you had 10 pages worth of stuff to write, don't fret. Like, you can downsize it, and then when you go to the interview, if you're selected for the interview portion of exception, then at that point you can express anything that you didn't, you know, pinpoint in your letter, or anything that you needed to further explain or anything like that. So they will ask you in person also why you were interested in joining an organization. It's not just on paper. They want to see that you can convey that to them personally, face to face as well. So don't fret. And the next letter is going to be the sorority recommendation letters. This is also really important, and the reason why I think that you should have these prepared ahead of time is because professionally, you should not ask anyone to write a letter like that if you have less than 5 business days for them to do it. You don't want to hit someone up who is, you know, they have, you know, careers, they have families, and then just be like, yeah, I got 24 hours, I need this done in 24 hours. They're doing you a favor, and it's really, you know, rude and inconsiderate. So I would say that if you know they're going to have intake the following semester, as soon as school starts, as soon as that semester starts, to go around and ask for recommendation letters from people that you trust. Well, it should be, you know, professional people. So that could include faculty or staff, like your professors, a supervisor, a pastor, a mentor, stuff like that. And so I would say ask ahead of time, so that way they have time to write something for you, because if they're rushing, it's not going to be their best work either. And you only want to ask people who you know that they are going to write a grammatically correct letter for you. That's important. And you also want to make sure that you ask someone who has nothing but positive things to say about your characters, your characteristic, and just about your ethic, your goals, things like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that they have positive things to say about you. Also, sometimes they ask that these recommendation letters be sealed. So if I were you, I would ask ahead of time. I like to make sure that you're going to say all great things about me before I turn it in. I'm not turning in anything less than that. And another thing is, if they ask for 2 recommendation letters, I would ask around and get 4 different people to write me a recommendation letter, just in case, like, someone I like theirs better. There's more of a chance of me getting chosen with their wording, or someone was late and they didn't turn it in on time, or they kind of reneged and they just forgot or something like that. Like, you just want to basically make sure that you have backup on backup. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to depend on anyone for that, like completely depend on someone for that. So that is really important. And also, you want to make sure that, like I said, pay attention to the informational, because if they want something specific as far as the recommendation letters, like say they want a member of that organization to have written you a letter, then that's important. You don't want to get a letter written by your pastor and your professor and neither one of them are members of that organization if it requires you to have a member write your letter. A common misconception with recommendation letters also is if it doesn't specify that it has to be a member, you can get a member of another organization to write your letter. I know for me, I had a Delta write my letter for me, and it does not hurt your chances. If anything, I think it looks, great, because, you know, it shows that you knew someone in another organization and you still chose something else, you know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with having another organization write your letter, as long as they do you justice and they don't kind of like hate on your decision and put that in the letter, like, you know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that they have nothing but positive things to say about you. The next thing is also about the sorority recommendation letters. You want to make sure that the person writing your recommendation letter does not write a short letter for you. So if someone gives you a recommendation letter back and it's like 5 sentences long, do not turn that in, because it just doesn't speak highly of you. It shows that they didn't have much to say about you. They were not that eager to write about you, that they kind of just pulled a few sentences out of nowhere. Like, it's just not a good look. You want to make sure that your recommendation letter is at least 2 paragraphs long for it to look nice. A page is nice, you know, two good paragraphs about you is great. And these recommendation letters should talk about, you know, your leadership experience, your qualities. If it's with a teacher, they should talk about how you are as a student. If it's with, you know, someone who is your supervisor from work, it should talk about your work ethic and your ability to get along with others, things like that. If it's a mentor, they should talk about your growth from, you know, whenever they started mentoring you till now, etc. Like, you know, it should basically be long enough for them to get a feel for the relationship that you have with the person writing the letter, and for them to, you know, speak highly of you in the letter. 5 sentences is not long enough to convey that message. So do not turn anything like that. So yeah, so moving on to transcripts. So with transcripts, I would say get these ahead of time as well, because official transcripts, you have to order them, you have to pay for them, and they themselves could take about 5 to 7 business days. So what you could do with an unofficial transcript, it just has to be sealed and it has to be from the last entered grades. So let's say school ends in December for the fall, and so that you got your transcript in January when you guys came back. As soon as you came back, you got your transcript in January, and you had the informational and intake by, let's say, March. So if you got a transcript in January and it's sealed and you did not open it, you can use that transcript in March. You do not have to get another transcript, you know what I'm saying? Like, because there's no new grades by then. So as long as the grades are recent and up to date, you can use a transcript that you have not opened. So it's like, just be smart about it. You know, if you're truly interested in an organization, have some of these things prepared already. Have an idea of who you want to ask to, you know, write your recommendation letters. Know why you want to join so you can write your interest letter, and also have your transcript prepared. So that way you can have those letters out the way and you can get them letters on your chest, honey, and go about your business. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that you guys need to know about sorority interest letters and recommendation letters and transcripts. If you guys want to know anything else, give this video a thumbs up, and I will do another video like this, because you guys seem to like these sorority type of advice videos. And I enjoy doing them. I like helping people. So, you know, let me know. Inbox me questions and things like that if you guys have them, and I will be sure to include them in the next video. And I thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you guys hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you guys can be notified anytime I upload a new video. And you guys can stay up to date with my channel. Follow all of my social media in the description box below, so that way if you have any questions, you can DM me. I respond. And that'll be it for today, you guys. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Smooches.
I got a condo in Manhattan. Baby girl, what's happening? You and your ass invited, so gonna get to clapping. Go pop it for a plan, pop it for me. Turn around and drop it for a plan, drop it for me. I'll rent a beach house.